Good evening, students. Today I am teaching you Social Security schemes in India. Social Security is the protection that a society provides to individuals and households to ensure access to health care and to guarantee income security, particularly in cases of old age, unemployment, sickness, invalidity, work injury, maternity, or loss of a breadwinner. First one, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, PMSBY. The scheme is available to people in the age group of 18 to 70 years with a bank account who give their consent to join or enable auto debit on or before 31st May for the coverage period 1st June to 31st May on an annual renewal basis. Aadhaar would be the primary KYC for the bank account. The risk coverage under the scheme is rupees 2 lakh for an accidental death and full disability and rupees 1 lakh for partial disability. The premium of rupees 12 per annum is to be deducted from the account holder's bank account through auto debit facility in one installment. Second, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, PMJJBY. This scheme has introduced to help people in case of death. This benefit is available to those people belong to the age group of 18 to 50 having bank account. It has an annual premium of rupees 330 with a risk coverage of rupees 2 lakhs. Third, Atal Pension Yojana, APY. The aim is to encourage the uninsured workers in the unorganized sector. Under the APY, the subscribers would receive the fixed minimum pension of rupees 1000 per month, rupees 2000 per month, and so on. Fourth, Jan Dhan Mission. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana PMJDY is national mission for financial inclusion to ensure access to financial services, namely a basic savings and deposit accounts, remittance, credit, insurance, pension in an affordable manner. Next, public debt. Public debt, sometimes also referred to as government debt, represents the total outstanding debt, bonds and other securities of a country's central government. First one, internal and external debt. Public loans floated within the country are called internal debt. Public borrowings from other countries are referred as external debt. An internal loan may be voluntary or compulsory, but an external loan is normally voluntary in nature. Second classification of debt, productive and unproductive debt. Public debt is to be productive or reproductive when the government loans are invested in productive assets or enterprises such as railways, irrigation, multipurpose projects, etc., which gives sufficient income to the public authority to pay out annual interest on the debt as well as help in repaying the principal in the long run. An unproductive debt, on the other hand, is one which does not add to the productive assets of a country. When the government borrows for unproductive purposes like financing a war or for lavish expenditure on public administration, etc., such public loans are regarded as unproductive. Third, compulsory and voluntary debt. When government borrows from people by using coercive methods, loans so raised are referred to as compulsory public debt. Example, the compulsory deposit scheme in India. Public borrowings are voluntary in nature. When the government floats a loan by issuing securities, members of the public and institutions like commercial banks may subscribe to them. Fourth, redeemable and irredeemable debt. Loans which the government promises to pay off at some future dates are called redeemable debts. For redeemable debts, the government has to make some arrangement for their repayment, whereas loans for which no promise is made by the government regarding the exact date of maturity and all that the government does is to agree to pay interest regularly for the bonds issued are called irredeemable debts. Next, Funded debt and unfunded debt. Funded debt is in fact a long-term debt exceeding the duration of at least a year. It comprises securities which are marketable on the stock exchange. Unfunded debts, on the other hand, are for a comparatively short duration. They are generally redeemable within a year. Unfunded debts are incurred to meet current needs. Sixth, short, medium and long-term debt. Short-term debts mature within a short period, say of 3 to 9 months. For example, treasury bills. Interest rates on such loans are generally low. Long-term debts, on the other hand, are those repayable after long period of time, generally 10 years or more. Long-term loans usually bear a high rate of interest. Medium-term loans are incurred to meet expenditure on education, health, relief work, etc. Such loans are generally preferred. Now, multiple choice questions. First one, debts which have to be paid at some future date is known as dash. Answer, redeemable debt. Second, loans taken by the government for the purpose of war, earthquakes, for covering budget deficit are dash. Answer, unproductive debt. Third, fiscal solvency means dash. Answer, balancing of assets against expenditure. Fourth, the objective of fiscal policy of government should be dash. Answer, to increase production, to reduce inequalities in income and wealth, and to maintain economic growth. Fifth, when the government spends more than its expected revenue, it is called dash, deficit budgetary policy. Sixth, expenditure on the construction of dams, public works are example of dash. Answer, capital expenditure. Seventh, the concept of functional finance was brought in by dash. Answer, A.P. Lerner. Eighth, the budget should be balanced and there should not be deficit according to the advocates of dash. Answer, sound finance. Ninth, the number of sections in a good budget are dash. Answer, 3. 10th, the budget presented when the elections are due is known as dash, lame duck budget. 11th, dash feature is not applicable to a good budget. Answer, lengthy. 12th, the Finance Commission's role is to dash. Answer, review and modify arrangements. 13. The full form of FRBM Act 2003 is dash. Answer, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003. 14th, when budget revenue equals expenditure, the budget shows dash. Answer, balance. 15th, the term fiscal federalism was introduced by dash. Answer, Musgrave. 16. Dash does not fall in the category of state's power to tax. Answer, capital gains tax. 17th, the 14th Finance Commission was appointed under the chairmanship of dash. Answer, Dr. Y.V. Reddy. 18th, the 14th Finance Commission submitted recommendations for the period of dash 2015-16 to 2020-21. 19th, the Planning Commission has been replaced by dash. Answer, NITI Ayog. 20. Public finance is a dash. Answer, fiscal science. 21. GST has replaced a variety of dash. Answer, indirect taxes. Thank you, students, and all the best for your exams.